Annette McLaughlin, and I'm owner of Career Coach 360.
It's really absolutely fantastic what type of commitment and community Fordham has to both networking and gaining skills. And so you're very privileged to be part of this community, and I also want to thank you and congratulate you for showing up tonight. It's freezing cold, which we all know, and it's the beginning of the year, and this shows me that you are all here and committed to doing something different in the new year. Is that sort of an overall theme? Yes. Great, okay. So tonight what I've planned is, to go through what I see as the outlook for 2015, having done a lot of research, speaking with people, as well as I work with a lot of different clients. My background is over 28 years in corporate, helping people find jobs. Throughout 28 years in corporate, I have placed or hired over 1,000 people. I've had to downsize hundreds, and then over the course of the last 6 years, I've helped several hundred, if not close to 1,000 people recreate themselves throughout this very different job market. My business has 3 different elements, and that is I do training, consulting, and coaching. And I'm working with hiring managers, I'm working with corporations and individuals, helping move them to the next level. So starting with the outlook, 2015 is very different. It's much better. Unemployment is now at 5.4% as of today. Friday, the job numbers come out again, so we'll see. Does anybody know what unemployment was exactly 1 year ago today? I heard it somewhere. 7.2%. So a year ago today when I stood up here, we were at 7.2% unemployment. Today we're at 5.4%. It's the lowest it's been since about 2007. So what does that mean? There are less people out of jobs. There are less people filing for unemployment at least, right? Okay. So there means there's going to be more opportunity. Other statistics that you look at, growth. As I looked at the outlook from Manpower, which does a great survey over 300,000 employers, they anticipate that hiring needs are going to increase by 36% this year. Compared to last year, it was 24%. So once again, the employers are saying we're hiring, and that is true. In addition to hiring new, there are 2 levels of hiring. There's bringing on new people, adding staff, and then there is attrition. Now I want you to focus on attrition because people are going to be moving in and out of their roles over the course of the next year. The average length of employment, according to Bureau of Labor Statistics, in any one role is 18 months. So people are only staying in jobs for about 18 months. Any guess as to the average level length of employment within a company? 3 years? Good guess, 4. So the average now that anyone is staying within a company is 4. We are in a very different world of work, and we're not going back. It's been named the gig economy. People are moving from gig to gig to gig. The nomad economy. We no longer need to have offices. You can work anywhere remotely. Technology is there. And then the next thing that's happening in the marketplace is that the millennials will be the most number of employees in the marketplace as we move forward, as the baby boomers retire. And the millennials grew up all on technology. They're very familiar with, nomad, gig to gig. It's a very different mindset. And so for those of you who are not part of millennial, you have to learn what is the mindset and how to navigate to be successful in this new economy as well. Any questions on that or comments from the audience as to what you're seeing?
No, what was it before? You said it's 3 to 4 years now?
The average employment?
20 years ago, what was it?
20 years ago, it was 25, 30 years. So what we did was I've worked for recruiting firms since the 90s, and I've been hiring since the 80s. But what happened is we were in what was considered the traditional world of work. The traditional employee, the IBMers of the world. You worked for a company for 25, 30 years, you retired, you had benefits, they took care of you. Then we moved into more of the emerging market, where that was the 1990s, where things were good. Every 3 to 5 years, you would move employers. So it was still 3 to 5 years, but you were also getting 15 to 20% increases. Jobs were plenty. There was a lot of growth. We've moved into it was named the free agent, which happened after, in 2000, 2005, where people became free agents and they would move from employer to employer. You now have portable benefits. We now have the Affordable Care Act and all of these things. It's sort of been renamed the gig economy. Once again, everything is now portable, whereas in the past it wasn't. So it's a very different world. Yes?
Have you noticed an increase in contract employment versus permanent employment?
Yes.
And how that relates to how long a person is staying in a certain position?
The contract employment, I'd have to peel back. Is that included in those average numbers? And looked, and I believe it is, because they're considering the employment. So contractors, that's the biggest hiring indicator that the need is out there. Sure. As a recruiter, I am getting calls and emails almost every day for contract recruiting jobs. So if I have any recruiters in the room, anyone who wants to do recruitment, every company, or a significant amount of companies, are hiring contract recruiters to bring in talent. They have HR and recruiters were downsized within the last 5 to 6 years significantly, and training. And so now there is a need from employers to bring people back in. And so they are hiring, and they're moving their numbers up. So what that means too is if you're not working, you may want to consider doing project or contract work, because that's going to get your foot in the door, gain new skills, and position you better for maybe a full-time job. So that tonight's all about possibilities, changing perspective. What's new? It's not going back to the way it was. And when I talk to people that I coach and they talk about stability in the marketplace, it's not there. So you keep looking for that stable job, and it's hard to define it for any length of time. So you have to take the best opportunity that seems to be as stable as possible. But because of the global marketplace, because of the ups and downs, things are going to be constantly changing. And so you have to come to accept constant change. Constant change, constant technology, constant interruptions, cell phones, emails, texts, 24/7. You have to learn to balance and manage that, because that is how we're working as we move forward. So when we talk about, we've talked about the statistics, the numbers, the data, and that's all it is. For each and every one of you here, all you need is one opportunity. That's it, one, okay? And what we're seeing is the Ladders just posted, their job board postings are up 50% this year. So there are more jobs being posted, which means there are more opportunities out there. Last year, for every job, there were about 7 candidates, that were going in. Now the competition is less; it's more like 3. So, competition is lessening because there are less people available, or with that skill set. It also depends on your industry and the skill sets. The industries that are growing are healthcare, dealing with the aging, technology, business data analytics, social media, financial services in some areas, financial advisors in that area as well. But you have to know your industry and what's growing. I talked about job growth. 300,000 jobs were created last month. Okay, that's the new job growth. A lot of the opportunities are entrepreneurs and startups. There is a significant amount of new startups, and it's easier than ever to start your own business. I was speaking earlier to someone about consulting. here. You know, how do you get consulting? You've actually got to find, obviously have to find the work. But if you are an expert in a subject matter expert, there are opportunities for you to consult. As I talk to corporate America, the hiring managers, the HR, the number one thing that is bothering most hiring professionals right now is those people that they hired in the last 5 years are going to transition out because there are new opportunities. There's going to be more opportunities for people to move. So as you're targeting your job search, look for those people who've been in their role for an average of 4 years and try and connect and network with them because they're probably ready to move on. So that's a strategy that you can start to implement as you look through your network, as you meet people. I mean, I recently had that situation with one of my clients. She had actually just reached out to someone to wish them a happy new year. Turns out the person's resigned from her role and is moving into a new role already. And now she was able to get her resume into the hiring manager before anyone even knows. You know, like it was just the timing of everything. And that's a lot of what has to happen. The need, the employer, you making that contact, and the timing all have to come together at the same time. And that's the process that is not easy to have patience and to work through. And the persistence. You know, tonight's topic is about reinventing and reinvigorating yourself. So it's a new day, it's a new year. Get energized again because things are better, and try and find that energy to continue to go back through the network, and to actually expand your network and do some things that you didn't do this year as well.
So the 4 C's of success: clarity, confidence,
Connections, and chemistry. These are the 4 elements that lead to success. You must be clear and have clarity in yourself as to what your value in the marketplace. What is your value? What are your strengths? And how is that important? What's your value proposition? How many in the room feel comfortable that they know what they're clear as to who their target market is, what they do, who they serve? We have, okay, about 4 people. Okay, so, and clarity is going to change, but you must be clear when you speak to someone and introduce yourself, that you are clear as to what you do and how you can help them, because if you're not clear, how can they understand you? So that's really the first, being clear. And this takes time. This takes more time than you want to spend on it. It's hard to sit still and think about that, but it will definitely help you in the long term to really take that time out and get clear with your own message, your own vision. I went through a nonprofit leadership training with Leadership Westchester, which is by the United Way, and it was a 9-month course. And by the end of that course, we came out with our own personal mission statement. And that has been my guiding light when I started as an entrepreneur, because it's to my own personal mission is to educate, encourage, and empower anyone to feel valued, hear options, and see a better future. So as I take on projects, as I work with people, as I do different things, that's what I go back to, that mission statement. Should I be doing it? How does it fit within my own mission and within my own vision? And that's where if you can get some clarity as to what it is that you want to do and visualize it, that's when you're going to find success, because you're going to stop doing all the things that you're wasting your time on. How many of you feel that you spin your wheels and waste time, in looking? And would it be so that's, the majority, it would be helpful to have a compass, and having some type of vision or mission helps you have a guideline and compass. And then as you even get calls for jobs, if it's not really in the area or the field that you want to be, then maybe you say no. So there are different ways to look at it that way.
The second C is confidence. And confidence is one of those things that you have to believe in yourself. It also means trust yourself. So with trust, having confidence. In the job market, as an employer, as an entrepreneur, you need to present yourself with confidence. For many people, that's difficult. Having worked with as many different individuals as I have, I can honestly tell you, each and every one of you is unique. You have talents and treasures that are specific and very unique, and employers, will benefit from that. If you don't believe in it, though, no one's going to buy it. So if you don't believe it, they're not going to. I do find, as the job search goes on beyond 6 months, that confidence level does start to really wane, and it's tough. Even though I say the market's better, the numbers are better, the data looks better, there are going to be more opportunities, there's going to be more attrition this year, it's still tough. It's still, maybe the industry you're in or your skill set isn't up to speed. So those are some things you may look at in order to make a change as you move into this year. Some of the ways to gain confidence. How many of you have gone back and looked at your old performance reviews? Okay, all right, good. And after you read that, what did you think? I am amazing. Love it. You are amazing. Bring out those performance reviews. What did other people say about you? It's the end of the year, how, you brought value. So that's a good resource. That's something you can dig up or look for to regain that confidence. A SWOT analysis. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the opportunities in the market, and what are the threats? So try and get that going, because I think you'll start to see really, how valuable you are and what you can do. It does help to set goals. How many of you did your 2015 New Year's resolutions? A handful. How many wrote them down? Oh, the ones that raised their hands. Okay. You are the 8% of the population will actually accomplish them. Okay, so congratulations. Only about 8% of people actually accomplish their New Year's resolutions. When you write them down, you have a 90% probability versus just stating them. One of the perspectives that I want to change about tonight is not New Year's resolutions, because to resolve means to take away, to dissolve, but more to set 2015 as your intentions. An intention is a plan with a purpose. Are people familiar with intentions? You're going to start hearing the language of intentions. Mindfulness. Did anyone see Anderson Cooper's 60 Minutes on December 14th, all about mindfulness and meditation? Anybody? Okay, a handful of people. It's mindfulness and meditation, and as I give the tips for the new year as to how you can change and what you can make a difference, this is one of the ways that corporations are actually bringing meditation into the companies, yoga and meditation, because we are bombarded by technology all day long. And when I looked up the top 10 companies that have, that promote meditation in the workplace, it's Google, AOL, it's all the technology companies, Yahoo, Nike, Deutsche Bank. There were top 10 top ones that actually have meditation. But it's something that you're going to start to see and hear more of, because people are so stressed out and overwhelmed that they're starting to take time to meditate, to bring themselves back centered so that they can focus. We now have about 30 years of research on it, and corporations like it because people are more productive and they get better bottom lines. So that's something new that if you're not aware of or you haven't heard, that's new information that is really becoming much more mainstream. And go online and look at Anderson Cooper's 60 Minutes. I think you'll see how it is starting to become much more mainstream than it has been in the past. So back to confidence. Meditation will help because it will center you and you'll come back to what is important to you and bring you that focus. And in the end, with confidence, I can't give it to you, only you can gain it from yourself. And sometimes you just have to do it. Sometimes you just have to do what you don't want to do. And whether it's pick up that phone, make that networking event, or do something different than you've been doing in the past, because that's going to move, you're going to break the patterns that aren't working. and make a change, and then you're going to get different results. So connections. Tonight, each and every one of you, I hope that you've had the opportunity to meet, at least 3 new people that you can connect with and stay connected, to continue to build your relationships, because people are the fabrics of our lives. They're the ones that help you, they move you forward, they're there to support you as well. So it's really important, and Fordham does a great job of bringing the alumni together, providing different events and ways to connect. So join the LinkedIn groups so that you can connect online, because there's in-person and then there's online networking as well. The tip that I'll give for connections, it's like, where do you begin networking? Once again, I told you I would try and minimize your time so that you're not spinning your wheels and you're being effective. So if you think of the management consulting, the 2x2 matrix with 4 different quadrants, or what I do is for my connections and is thinking about the person's ability and their desire. So there are 2, the X is the ability line and the Y is the desire to help you. So if there is a high ability and high desire to help you, they're in quadrant number 2. And those people you just need to remind. Clear message, who you are, what you do, how you can help them. They want to help you, they have the ability to help you, the desire and the ability, so that's your target. Those are the people that are going to be most, where you want to start. Unless you're not clear with your message. This is once you have your marketing materials and you're ready. Then you have those people that have a high desire, but a low ability to help you. So they want to help you, but that's the friends and family, right? All your friends and family want to help you get a job. They have a high desire to help you. Unfortunately, they may not have the ability, and you may need to educate them. Meaning they may not know specifically what you do or how you help them. They don't know your value proposition because they know you just as a person. So you may need to educate them on exactly what you're looking for and how they can help you. For anyone who's been through the outplacement, they have you do a list of your target firms so that when you go into those people that have the high desire to help you, you can be very specific as to what jobs or what companies you're looking at with that target list. Then you have those people that have the high ability, and that's this quadrant number 1, but the low desire to help you. Right? They have the ability to help you because they're in your marketplace, they're in your function, or they're in your industry, but they have no desire because they don't know what you can do for them. Those are the people that you need to motivate. How are you going to motivate them? What's in it for them? What can you offer them that's going to motivate them to help you? So that's a strategy. How can you motivate those people that, are where you want to be? But they're not there yet. You want to move them to high desire, high ability. So that's your job, and influencing skills, in working that. And then the low ability, low desire, which is the quadrant, at the bottom. Those people you want to command. That's with your kids. You command them to do things that they don't want to do. With the job market, with the command, that's pretty much the quadrant you're just going to stay out of. If it's low ability, and low desire to help you, then that's really not the strategy that you want to work with to help move this forward. Chemistry, cultural fit and chemistry. So, the point is, when you're interviewing, it is a two-way street. When you're finding a job, it's a two-way street. You are interviewing them, they're interviewing you. You're trying to find the right cultural fit and match that makes sense. And when you accept a job where the fit's not right, you know it. And how many of you have accepted jobs and in your gut you knew it wasn't the right place to be? Okay, almost half the room, to your point. And then you were in a position 6 months later, a year later, 18 months later, whatever the situation is, that you were out there looking again. The perception that jumping jobs, the 3 to 5 months, obviously the shorter term, if you're taking full-time jobs and jumping a lot, I will say the stigma is not there as much as it used to be. With this job recession that we've had during the economic recession, and I actually call it a job depression, even though it was an economic recession. But Many people have changed jobs, and so there's been a lot of transition, and you're taking project or consulting work because that's what's out there. It's the work, and that keeps you at least in the marketplace, gaining skills and making some income. But people aren't holding it against you as much as they used to. You know, that used to be one of the hiring criteria, stability of employment. Now the new managers and millenniums are looking for, what did you do? What were the results that you provided in that last company? Do you have the skill set and the ability to do that here and perform better? And they do like cultural fit. You know, is this someone I can work with and want to work with on an ongoing basis? So those are becoming more important criteria than the stability in the job market. You know, but you do have to be cautious about how many times, you know, the pattern. What's the pattern? And at least be able to explain it in a logical way that makes sense, that's believable and truthful. You have to be authentic, because when you're interviewing and you're not authentic and genuine and truthful, most people will know, and they'll continue to ask the question the same way to get the real answer. It's sort of like the shark circling. You know, if they don't think you've answered them truthfully, they're going to keep coming back to it, right? As an experienced hiring person, you keep coming back till you know that person has answered truthfully. And your body language is the biggest indicator that you're not truthful. It will show in your body language that you're uncomfortable with the answer that you gave. And an experienced recruiter or hiring manager will pick up on that as well.